What's up everybody, John here with Motivation Theory Running, and today I'm going to be talking about my couch to ultra marathon training, week 29 and week 30. Alright, so the year totals for me is I've passed, I think I'm probably around 730 miles. I can't remember, somewhere around there. I'm over 700 miles and I'm hoping to hit between 1,200 and 1,300 miles on the year. I'm still stuck right around that 38 pounds of weight loss so far this year. I've kind of hit a plateau. Those 3 weeks off didn't help me. I'm just under 6 foot. Right now I'm right around 208. I was up in the high 240s at one point. I don't even like to think about it. Crazy. It's crazy that I got that high after running for all those years. But good thing is I've lost it all. I'm gotten down. I'm probably going to lose about another 15 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds. That will put me super light. That will put me around 190, 193. That's what I was when I had been racing before. And that's super light for me. 195 is probably the healthiest looking weight that I can be without people saying comments to me, which, you know, that happens quite a bit when you start running a lot. All right, guys, it's been a rough one in Virginia. We've been pushing temperatures above 90, above 60% humidity almost every single day. With the storms rolling in, it's been crazy. So I've been battling the humidity and the heat. I've really been struggling to get the amount of miles that I want to get in because I train mostly by heart rate. That being said, easing back into it, I've really been in maintenance mode. The Marine Corps Marathon was canceled and is being done virtually, so I think I'm going to be doing the 50K version. I think you can choose either the marathon or the 50K, so I'm just going to be doing a virtual 50K. I'm excited about doing that, but I'm kind of in maintenance mode, and I'm going to run one of those, and I'm not, you know, probably going to be going for a PR in that, so I'm going to be running it. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I'm kind of down about it being canceled, but I'm excited about doing the 50K. And like I said, the humidity has really been putting a damper on the distance I've been trying to get each week because of the low heart rate training that I do. And many of you may or may not know, if you've followed along for years, I have trained loosely based on the Maffetone Method, or MAF for short. Long before I had ever heard training based on your heart rate, I had kind of stumbled upon this because of the heat and humidity. I'm talking about 8 or 9 years ago. I was finding that some of the races during the summer and some of the locations that they were taking place, I could not even come close to hitting the speeds, the paces that I was normally hitting. And so I just kind of came up in my head with, well, you know what? If I can't hit the pace, I'm just going to go for effort. I'm going to hit the normal heart rate that I would hit at this pace, and I'm just going to go for the heart rate and stop. If it causes me to walk, I have to walk. I have to walk up this hill. And that was the first time I'd ever walked in races. Was, I don't know, I think it was like 8 or 9 years ago. I just started coming to grips with, you know, swallowing that ego and walking and dealing with it, because I wasn't going to be pushing my heart rate to an unsafe zone. Even in training, I just started saying, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk if my heart rate gets to a point where I'm pushing past where I think I should be. And so that's kind of how I stumbled upon that method of training long before I even knew there was a name for it. So recently, the MAF or Maffetone training has become this huge thing that everyone talks about all the time. It's based on you building up your aerobic base so that your body can learn to run faster and faster at a lower heart rate. This delays the time when your body really needs to use the anaerobic system, which means you can run longer and faster before your body begins to tire. So basically, we have two systems in our body providing energy, the aerobic system and the anaerobic system. What most people don't realize is that research shows doing most of your running in your aerobic zone around that 80% mark is the safest and most efficient way of training your body. You know, you probably all heard of the 80-20 method. I've been kind of following that unintentionally for many years before all of this came out, which kind of validates how I feel. It makes me feel good about myself that I kind of stumbled upon this with no science base. It was all my personal opinion, but now I'm glad there is a little bit of science that's kind of backing some of this stuff up. All right, so let me define a couple things. The aerobic system means with oxygen. It uses oxygen to convert fat into energy in order to power your muscles. So one thing all humans have is a large amount of fat stores. So even the skinny people, and that works very well with a developed aerobic system. You can keep on running for a very long time just with the fat that you have on your body. And again, Even skinny people have a large amount of fat on their body to keep your body running. And the other system is the anaerobic system, which means without oxygen. This system comes into play when there is not enough oxygen for your needs. For example, when you're running really hard and really fast and you're using up all that oxygen faster than you're taking it in. So in order for your body to create the energy that you need, your muscles start to break down their supply of sugar or glucose. The anaerobic system tires quickly and your body's glucose levels are in limited supply. We've all heard about the crash, so you will start to tire very quickly and you cannot run very long using your anaerobic system. So MAF training is centered around your MAF heart rate using a specific formula based on your age and current health. You calculate your MAF heart rate and then you do all of your training runs, all of them, based on your MAF heart rate. And one of the interesting things, this is a number I kind of stumbled upon. So if you follow me on Strava, I usually try to keep all of my training runs between 130 and 150. I know that's a huge range, but I try to keep them all around there. Hopefully I'm hitting around 140, which if you subtract my age, 44 minus 180, it puts me around 135. So 135 to 140 is where I just naturally started to fall. That's just kind of what I felt when I was running, that it wasn't too hard, wasn't too easy, and I've done most of my runs for years at that heart rate. So this brings me to the next part, something I preach all the time on this channel, which is time on your feet. So basically you take your MAF heart rate that you figured out, whatever the number is for you, 180 minus your age, you use that to set all your trainings where most of your runs, 80% of your runs are supposed to be at that heart rate. And time on your feet is super important. So I preach that all the time for folks who are trying to get into ultra marathons. Time on your feet is super important and you're not overtraining. So what a tendency of new people do when they're trying to get to a marathon distance or ultra marathons is they just start running a lot, but they're running a lot at too hard of an effort, which becomes detrimental to you. You're going to burn out, you're going to overtrain, and you're going to get injured. So I preach that quite a bit on my channel. I don't worry a ton about speed. I still do speed training. I do specific speed training, hill training, but I keep it very small. So that 80-20 is an important number to remember. I know there are going to be some folks who say, you know, you can't race fast unless you're running fast. I agree. I think there are times you really do need to train harder, especially if you're new. You probably need to err on the side of the 80 to 90% of your runs being at that low heart rate, your Maffetone heart rate, because you're trying to build that aerobic base. And that's super important. You know, there's elite athletes that can probably get away with not doing that. But those of us who are not elite athletes have to concentrate on building your aerobic base. So remember, your heart rate and your time on your feet is the most important aspect of training. Forget pace and speed, and remember that 180 minus your age kind of dial you into where most of your heart rate should be for most of your training plan. So you'll see the benefits of all this hard training during the summer, dealing with all of the heat and the temperatures and your heart rate being spiked with a lot less effort. It's difficult to go through, but you'll see the benefits in the fall when those temperatures drop. If you like this video, please make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, please consider doing so. And I'm going to leave you with the playlist on all the shoe reviews I've been doing this year. And I'm also going to leave you with the playlist that is the part of this video you're watching right now, the Couch to Ultra Marathon. Come back. You can watch all the videos in it. I think it's actually quite interesting to watch, to see my progress through and my mindset through this whole last 30 weeks. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm going to leave that right here, and I will see you in the next video. Go ahead and click one right now.